Галерія Канадсько-Української мистецької фундації розпочала свій сезон цього року виставкою відомого канадського художника Петра Шостака, відкриття якої відбулося з великим успіхом. Експозицію, більшість картин з якої вже продано, можна подивитися в КУМФі до 9 жовтня. І також ще є кілька робіт художника, які можуть поповнити вашу колекцію.
We welcome everybody to the start of our new season. Канадсько-Української мистецької фундації. Very nice to see so many of you. And of course, we're most pleased to have our guest of honor, Geraldine and Peter Shostak here, all the way from Victoria in British Columbia. We're very happy that we're starting the season with this beautiful art show, with these beautiful paintings that Mr. Shostak, I don't know, scurried around to bring here to Toronto. And we're most happy that we're able to present them here. Sometimes here we have a little bit of a debate as to what should be up, what shouldn't be. When the idea came up that Uliana Hlinchak brought up, it was unanimous on the board of directors that we would be going ahead with this. Then up to the plate came the person that I will be introducing next, is Markian Siletsky, that understood we put on an exhibit. You need to do stuff. It costs money. And Markian was able to come up to the plate.
On behalf of KONTAKT and the board of directors, I'd like to welcome all of you to our grand opening featuring the works of our esteemed and beloved Ukrainian Canadian award-winning artist Peter Shostak and his wonderful wife Geraldine. They have a long history and story together, KONTAKT and Mr. Shostak. They traveled across the country from British Columbia to be here today, and we are extremely humbled. So one more round of applause. I'm not an art expert by no means. I love art. We collect art. I did study a bit of it. But most of us in this room are familiar with Shostak's work. We grew up with it. And this is why we're here today, to celebrate his work and to come together as a community after what has happened with the pandemic and the ongoing war in Ukraine. With Shostak's work, I think many of us can relate to the message on the canvas. Growing up as a child, I was surrounded with art in my parents' home and my grandparents' home. And it was only until I was a teenager that I realized the importance of art and imagery. I wanted to share a few examples of how Shostak's work influenced my thinking and helped me create and support my identity as a Ukrainian Canadian. In our hallway, we had Shostak's iconic image that everyone knows. It's the sheepskin coat hanging on a thatched roof, and it was titled Your Baba's Coat. I'm not sure if it was hung there deliberately or if it was strategically, but it was the subconscious. And anytime I would leave the home, the coat was there, and anytime I came home, the coat was hanging. And today, this coat is kind of become a universal symbol of Ukrainians. With the Eurovision winners, it's become synonymous with the Kalush Orchestra, who wear the sheepskin vest and coat. And now it's cool to be Ukrainian. And these little moments in my life helped create and identify who I was and who my identity was. On that note, I'm pleased to welcome Peter Shostak to our gallery, whose works to our community give renewed hope, a sense of identity and belonging. Mr. Shostak.
This is an opportunity for me to probably look at my career. I have been a full-time artist for 43 years. Prior to that, I was teaching at the University of Victoria, and although that was a comfortable position, art was always my love. So to be successful, whatever success I got, first of all, I needed a support system. As an artist, you cannot just operate on your own. So I'm thankful that my wife became my business manager and has, until today, supported my work and looked after me. She's my key editor. When I do any writing, she says, oh no, this isn't quite right, we got to sort this out. So she's there. The other chapter would be your audience. My audience had to be diverse. Well, diverse meaning I couldn't just stay with the Ukrainian Canadian concept. I couldn't stay just with the Ukrainian Canadian audience. I had to branch out. So the general community, I probably zeroed in more on the people who were in Western Canada, the people who lived during the 40s and 50s, which was my childhood, and as a result, some of the paintings that you see here today are still reflective of these childhood activities. I also realized that as an artist, it was difficult to just paint enough paintings, so I decided to do reproductions, and because of the reproductions, the very first night scene that I did a painting of a night scene. These reproductions then went up to the different galleries, including the Hull and New York Gallery, and they called me one day and they said, do you still have the original painting? And I said, yeah, I still have it. And they said, we have a good client that wants to buy it. And I said, well, how good? And they said, Bob Hope. So I said, yeah, I'll sell it. I'll sell it to Bob Hope. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't negotiate visiting rights, so I could come and visit the painting in his Palm Springs house, and that's apparently where it was, and maybe still is. Yes, I'm doing paintings, and they go and they sell, and in the end, you don't really have anything in terms of as a unity, in terms of as a collection, and that's when we decided to also write some books. Books that were based on my experiences of growing up on a farm. That was my biggest project. It was a tremendous amount of work, both in terms of my wife and I, and we had then a secretary that was working to collect material, to collect stories, to edit, to put things together so that we could get the book ready for publishing. So books were, and still are, an important part of what I've done. And then the last book that I did was Hockey Under Winter Skies. So these are kind of the important, I suppose, chapters in my life as part of my career and my success. So I want to close by again thanking everyone, thanking for your presence here. And I hope you enjoy the exhibit, and pass the word around. It's going to be on until, I think, October the 9th. So again, thank you very much.
But we also thank you for today, for bringing us here today to contemplate the world of art, to contemplate the world of culture. And believe it or not, culture is what the war is all about. It's because of our unique way of understanding our traditions. It's our unique way of fostering them, and that is what we are defending here today and in Ukraine today. We're hearing beautiful news overnight of the work that's happening out there on the other forefront, and we're grateful for you, for your work here and bringing us all here together. Всього найкращого. Слава Україні!